What if your own daughter texted you, "Mom, you're not welcome at Thanksgiving. Diane doesn't want you in our home anymore." And what if that home, the one with the big yard and the swing set where your granddaughters play, was paid for with the money from selling your late husband's and your dream beach cottage? That's exactly what happened to me. Stick around, because this is the story of how I quietly canceled 162 hidden payments and finally got seen in my own family. If you've ever felt taken for granted by the people you love most, you're going to want to hear this till the end. Good morning, dear listeners. It's Evelyn again. Thank you for joining me today. If this story is hitting home already, please hit that like button right now. It helps these quiet truths reach more people who need them. And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss when I share the next one. Tell me in the comments which city you're listening from. I read every single one, and it means the world to know how far these stories travel. My name is Evelyn Marie Thompson. I turned 70 in April, under a sky so gray it looked like the Pacific had decided to move inland for the day. I live in a small craftsman bungalow in Bellevue, just east of Seattle, close enough to hear the ferries on clear mornings, far enough to avoid the worst traffic. The house has been mine since 1987. My husband Paul and I bought it when our mortgage felt like an adventure instead of a burden. Paul passed in 2018, pancreatic cancer, fast and merciless. He left me the house paid off, a teacher's pension that stretches if I'm careful, his collection of jazz records I still play on Sunday evenings, and the garden we planted together in the backyard. I was a public librarian for 41 years, mostly in the children's section, then reference, finally managing the local history archives. I loved books the way some people love mountains. They were steady. They held stories. They didn't demand anything back except attention. I still volunteer 2 mornings a week at the branch downtown, shelving returns and helping seniors with their tablets. It keeps me tethered. My only child is my daughter, Rebecca Lynn Harper, Becky to everyone but me. She's 41, married to Travis for 12 years. They have twin girls, Sophie and Lily, 8 years old, with curls that remind me of Becky at that age. When Travis lost his construction management job in the 2021 slowdown, they were renting a cramped townhouse in Renton. Becky cried on the phone one night, quietly, the way she does when she thinks no one's listening, about preschool tuition, about the girls sharing a room too small for their energy, about how they just wanted roots. So I did what I believed a mother does. I sold the beach cottage Paul and I had bought in the San Juans 30 years earlier, the one with the driftwood steps and the view of Orcas Island. After fees and taxes, it netted $245,000. I told Becky and Travis it was extra savings we'd tucked away. No loan, no lien, just a gift. I sat at their closing table in a mask and gloves. It was still COVID times. Signed where they pointed and watched them sign the papers that made the house theirs. A 5-bedroom craftsman in Issaquah, big yard, playroom in the basement, walking distance to the elementary school. When the realtor congratulated them, Becky hugged me so hard I felt her heartbeat. I thought, this is what legacy looks like. For nearly 2 years, it felt right. Becky called every few days. Travis texted photos of the girls on the new swing set. I drove over most weekends with library books, homemade banana bread, and my tool bag to fix whatever minor thing needed fixing. Cabinet hinge, dripping faucet, wobbly shelf in the playroom. I never kept score. I never asked for thanks. Gratitude, I thought, was its own quiet currency. Then Travis's mother, Diane, moved up from Tacoma. Just until she sells her condo, Becky explained. Diane was 68, widowed, opinionated, the kind of woman who rearranged furniture in other people's homes to improve the flow. Within 4 months, the calls shortened. My weekend invites were met with, "We're swamped this week, Mom." Holidays became low-key this year. I started seeing the shift in small, accumulating ways, the way water stains show on ceiling tiles before the leak is obvious. I began a private journal. Not suspicion exactly, just notes. Dates I suggested visits, dates they declined. Screenshots of Becky's Facebook posts, family barbecues with Diane at the grill, the girls in new dresses I hadn't been told about, Thanksgiving tables set for 8 with no chair for me. One Easter photo showed the girls hunting eggs in the backyard I'd helped landscape. Becky had texted me that morning, "Quiet day here, Mom. Love you." I stared at that contradiction until my eyes burned. Still, I kept helping, quietly, automatically. I'd set up autopay years before for things they mentioned casually: the high-speed internet when the girls started virtual piano lessons, the minivan payment when their old SUV died, the utility spike in winter. Over time, it grew. I added the girls' dance classes, orthodontist plan, Sophie needed spacers, the family streaming bundle, grocery delivery when Becky said meal planning was overwhelming, even the quarterly pest control because Diane was terrified of spiders. And every month, a $900 transfer labeled Becky Household Buffer. It began as bridge money during unemployment. No one ever said stop. I didn't count until the night it broke. It was a Wednesday in October, rain tapping the roof like impatient fingers. I was in the living room with Paul's old Coltrane record spinning when my phone buzzed. A text from Becky. "Mom, Travis and I talked. Diane isn't comfortable with you coming over so often. She says it feels crowded. Please don't plan to visit for Thanksgiving. You're not invited to dinner this year." I read it 4 times. The needle skipped on the record. I lifted it gently, set it aside, and sat in the dark. The house they lived in, the one whose down payment came from the sale of my and Paul's dream retreat, was now off limits to me. I didn't scream. I didn't reply. I sat until the rain stopped and asked the empty room, how long had I been paying to be excluded? If you're still here, thank you. Stories like this take courage to hear and tell. Drop a love in the comments if you've ever felt this kind of quiet betrayal from family. Next morning, I rose at 5:30 as always, made tea, opened my laptop, pulled every statement, every confirmation email, every note in the folder I'd labeled family. It took 9 hours across 2 days. When the spreadsheet was done, I had 162 line items of recurring support. Property taxes, semi-annual, water, sewer, and garbage, electricity, winter supplement, natural gas, internet and cable, 2 car payments, homeowners insurance, life insurance on both Becky and Travis, girls' dance tuition, 2 classes each, piano lessons, soccer registration, summer camp deposits, orthodontist plan, streaming services, Netflix, Disney Plus, Spotify Family, Amazon Prime, they used it constantly, meal delivery, $250 to $350 a month, grocery subscription add-ons, lawn and landscaping service, pest control quarterly, house cleaner bi-weekly, Diane insisted, and the $900 monthly transfer. Over 51 months, it averaged $3,650 per month, on top of the $245,000 gift. I lived modestly. My pension and Social Security were enough, but I had dipped into savings more than once. I had given them not just a house, but a lifestyle, and lifestyle, it seemed, had made me expendable. I didn't rush. I called my friend Margaret, retired family law attorney, same book club for 23 years. She listened. Then, "Evelyn, the house is gone. Completed gift. But the rest? All voluntary. Cancel at will. Document everything. I'll draft a letter." The letter was calm, factual. Due to evolving family dynamics, all supplemental financial assistance ends effective immediately. Attached, full list. Sent certified. I spent 3 afternoons canceling, 162 confirmations. Each click felt like closing a chapter, not slamming a door. They felt it within days. Meal kits stopped. House cleaner called to confirm closure. Internet cut during the girls' homework time. $900 didn't arrive. Insurance notices mailed. Becky called first, voice shaking. "Mom, everything's glitching. Auto pay's failing. What's happening?" "I reviewed my budget," I said evenly. "I've made changes." "But the taxes, the girls' lessons, you'll arrange them now." She hung up crying. 4 days later, they came. Travis driving, Becky beside him, Diane in back. I watched them park, straighten clothes, walk up. I opened the door. "Come in." Living room. No one took tea. Travis spoke first, awkward, apologetic. "Mom, we're concerned. This seems abrupt." Diane cut in. "Withdrawing support like this could be seen as coercive, manipulative." "I consulted an attorney," I said. "Everything is legal." Becky's eyes filled. "We thought we were family." "You are, but family isn't an open account." Diane tried softer. "The girls miss you, Thanksgiving could be fixed, misunderstandings happen." I said, "When Becky wants to speak alone, I'm here. For now, that's all." I stood, opened the door, they left. Diane last, whispering, "You'll regret this." Becky called alone a week later. "Mom, can I come over? Just me?" She arrived Sunday. We sat in the garden under the cedar Paul planted. She admitted Diane had been pushing, protecting her space, setting boundaries. She apologized, tears, real ones, asked for a reset. "I want us close," I said, "but not bought. The payments stay stopped. If you want honest connection, I'm still your mother." She left quieter, thinking. They tried again, Becky and Diane with bakery scones, kitchen table. Becky, "Grandchildren need their grandma. We can fix this. Let's go back." Diane, "You're destroying the family over dollars." I said, "I'm reclaiming my place in it." Diane, "You'll end up alone." I replied, "I've been alone in this longer than you know." They left the scones. Birds ate them. The big meeting came 7 weeks later. Becky invited me over. "All of us, Mom, please." I drove to Issaquah. Their house, my house in memory, smelled of coffee and tension. Diane there, uninvited. Travis spoke honestly. He deferred too much, avoided fights. Becky added regret. I opened my binder. Margaret's letter, spreadsheet, emails, texts thanking me by amount. Diane's recorded comments from a book club friend who'd overheard her bragging about getting Evelyn sidelined before legal issues. Diane blustered. Travis said, "Stop." Silence. Then Travis, "How much total?" I told him. He exhaled. No shouting, just negotiation. Margaret drafted an agreement. Scheduled grandma time, event notices, no financial strings. Signed. No repayment demanded. Diane fought, called Margaret, left voicemails Margaret saved. Becky eventually limited her visits. Diane moved to assisted living near Tacoma. Contact faded. Thanksgiving I went. Awkward at first. Polite smiles, careful talk. Sophie crawled into my lap with a drawing, Grandma Evelyn's house. I held it long. I don't fund them anymore. I visit. Becky calls Sundays. We talk books, the girls' school, Paul's old records. Travis is respectful. Diane's influence waned. Back home, I expanded the garden, added lavender, a bench. My neighbor Rosa walks with me Tuesdays. We talk little, companionably. At 70, I learned giving without limits isn't generosity. It's erasure. When you redraw the boundary, not in anger, but truth, you discover who values the person behind the provision. I didn't reclaim the past. I claimed the present. That is enough. Thank you so much for staying with me through this entire story. It truly means the world. If this resonated with you, please smash that like button. Drop a comment telling me what you would have done in my shoes. Keep paying quietly or draw the line like I did. And subscribe with notifications on so you never miss when I share another real-life story of family, boundaries, and quiet strength. Share this with someone who might need to hear it. And tell me below, which city are you listening from today? I can't wait to read your answers. Until next time, take care of your heart and your boundaries. This is Evelyn, signing off.